halfway point, and we're going to be doing every Wednesday in the month of May. So thank you all for coming. Last week we had Joe Davis, and this week we are so lucky to have Tammy Ortegon. She is an artist, first off, and she has been doing art festivals, exhibits, inspirational art events, community projects for 25 years right here in Minneapolis as a Minneapolis native. She's a painter and an illustrator and does a lot of visual arts as well. And before I tell you a little bit more about her, so that we can kind of center ourselves into what we're doing this evening and why we're here and where we're at, we have a land acknowledgement statement that John's going to read for us real quick.
Okay, so we're just today we acknowledge that we gather as Diamond Lake Lutheran Church on the traditional land of the Wapakut Band of the Santee Division of the Dakota people, past and present. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. This calls us to commit to continuing to learn how to be better stewards of the land we inhabit as well.
Thanks, John. And before I hand her over to Tammy, just a few more things about her. She is not just an artist, but she's also a gallery and a business owner around here. So if anyone's ever seen or heard of ColorWheel Art Gallery, which is just about 2 miles down the road here, Tammy has been owning and running that for 18 years. And it's an incredible place filled with local art and books and so many cool things I encourage you to check out. So Tammy's going to be sharing some about her art and her life and tonight, and we also get to do an art project. So keep your minds open and be excited for that. I think it's going to be really cool. So without further ado, Tammy.
Turn this on. Is this on? Okay, cool. All right, my name's Tammy Ortegan. I'm thankful to be here, and thanks for inviting me. So, like she said, I'm an artist. I have the ColorWheel Gallery. I've had it for 18 years, and my art has always been around community and people and how we are all better together. We all do better when we all do better. Progressive thinking of going forward together and taking care of each other. So I'm one of these people who talk all the time, but then when I'm out, like, on the spot, I always forget everything. So, so I put it on the table, some of my artwork, as you can see, some of the ideas and examples of my artwork. I work in all different kinds of media. I would say that I'm a painter primarily, but I kind of use everything. So I make jewelry, I make every kind of, I like to make things out of things, like recycle and reuse and find things that are already here and recreate it. So a lot of the things I like to do is community art and creating art together with people, because that's how we learn more from each other and tell our stories. And I believe that everyone is an artist. I just think that a lot of times we have our insecurities, or we've been told we're not, or we think an artist is some kind of something we've been told, some fancy thing for only certain people. But art is for everyone, and anything can be art if you create it. So that's what I believe in. So a lot of times when I do artwork with people, I do collage because I love that it's all about recycling. It's about using things that are already here. It doesn't cost really anything because you can use your old bills, anything in your house, magazines, and you can create art out of it. So a lot of times when I do art with people, I like to do collage because you can kind of see what comes out of people. And it also brings things out of you that you didn't even know. So I don't know if anyone's done vision boards before or kind of soul collage, but a lot of times people do at the beginning of the year, they do like a vision board for the year, like kind of like your New Year's resolution. So you kind of take a piece of paper, board, or whatever, and then take images from magazines or whatever. They kind of make you think of, what do I want for this next year? What do I want to be healthier? Do I want to like go on that trip? Do I want to, all those things you've been wanting to do. So vision boards, so that's kind of what I'm going to do tonight with everyone. So I have some boards, you can grab a board, and then I have a lot of different things, collage pieces, and you can kind of find what resonates with you. But I was thinking about, as the vision right now is to think about how do we connect with community, how do we be better people in this world, and how do we make it a better world together and take care of each other and the neighbors, our planet, our nature. And so that's what I'm kind of thinking of of course, as an artist, you can do whatever you want. I don't think there's like a lot of rules. You should do whatever comes out of you. Create what you want to create. But that's what I was thinking about, maybe thinking about that in your life. Like, how do you want to be a better, it's like Dr. King said about the beloved community. Like our beloved community is all of us, and we all have to be perfect. So the ColorWheel Gallery is, it's on 46th Avenue Grand in South Minneapolis, right by Cafe Ina, and it's 346 in Cap Society. So I opened it 18 years ago, and I'm a hairstylist and an artist, and so I wanted to have a place where I could kind of put that together. So I opened up as a hairstylist, one-chair hair salon with my paintings on the wall, and then little by little it's kind of expanded into more artists, more events, and then Cafe Ina opened. When I opened, there wasn't really anything on the corner, so I would have art shows, invite people, we'd have a band or have poetry or something, and then a visual artist. But then as there was more people at the restaurants, then I started adding more. The gallery is filled with all local artists. I've carried over 800 artists there and shown poets or had, music, poets and speakers and workshops and art events through the last 18 years. And then I've added a lot of, my other passion is recycling and reusing, because I try to not buy things new if I don't have to. And we're very lucky in the Twin Cities to have so many thrift stores and yard sales and all that. So I buy and resell a lot. So I try to find really unique treasures and carry them there so I can keep things affordable, accessible, and also with recycling. So if it's not locally made, I try to do all secondhand. So I go and search for treasures or remake things or find an old, something in the garbage and then recycle it and paint it and collage it or something. So I was thinking, I wrote some notes and then I didn't look at them. So did you have a question?
Yeah, would you mind telling us a little bit about your art? Because it's so community focused and community based, and I find that every piece that you make just has so much going on that you can always find a cool new thing. It's kind of like a really fun community Where's Waldo.
Oh yes, yeah.
And you can tell us a little bit about your process, your inspiration,
yes.
Your art.
Some of the scenes of the Twin Cities, and I think every table has at least one of the scenes of the Twin Cities. And they're all places in Minneapolis and one in St. Paul, and they're all people I know and people I've seen. So they're all people that are from the Twin Cities. And so I really feel, the first one I did was Lake Street, and it was right after September 11th when there was so much, people were saying people were coming together, but then I was seeing how people were getting very xenophobic, they were getting very me, and those people are bad, and those people are bad. And so I was thinking about all the communities that had to go into hiding and who were scared after September 11th because they might be another religion, another race, another culture. And so I was thinking about what I see in the city is the beauty of diversity, and that the more we're different, the better it is for all of us, because, when you just think about Lake Street, how it just was kind of falling apart, and then all of a sudden all these immigrant groups came and put in all these great restaurants and shops, and it made it so fun and so cool, and all the murals, and working with a lot of artists doing murals, and I was feeling like, we gotta do something about this, because so many of my friends and artists were getting attacked because they were wearing a hijab, or they were looked different, or they were getting, they were unsafe. So I had a big event at the Y on Lake Street called Building Bridges, This Is Our Community, and had groups of all different peoples come together and share their music and their food and their stories to bring people more together. And so that's where the scenes of the Twin Cities came out of, because I used to show my artwork at a gallery on 16th and Lake, and I'd get people saying, oh, that's a dangerous area, or that's it. And I'm like, why not? I don't understand how people, they're not even there, but they think it's dangerous. And so I said, I'm going to paint Lake Street how I see it and how I experience it. So that's what came first. And the paintings were a lot larger. The Lake Street one is up there somewhere. And they're all people I know and see. So then I started adding more areas that I love to go to. And so everything it is, I see things as everything together, and nature and people and, local shops and all that. So that's where that came out of. So it kind of became a more inspiration of Minneapolis. And so, but a lot of the paintings of the Twin Cities were done on canvas, big canvas with acrylic. These other ones, some of the other ones like these were done with colored pencil and watercolor, and they're a little bit more smaller. So I do a show at the shop every year called Fight Like a Mother. That's every Mother's Day, and we usually have 20 artists, and I ask them, what is the meaning of fighting like a mother to you? And so any kind of art, any kind of, skill level or whatever, and we have poetry and music and food all day, but because of COVID, the last couple of years, we haven't had this event. So I did this actually for Fight Like a Mother, and I try to challenge myself every year to do a piece around that subject, but doing it in different kind of media. So one year I did kind of a comic book, black and white ink, and then I did, this was watercolor, and so every year, and I'll do sculpture one year, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping to do that show again. But a lot of the shows I have in the shop have a theme, and I ask the artists to make something in that theme so that we can challenge ourselves to, and then have people come and talk about it. So the process, I do all different kinds of artwork, but I do this is kind of my signature style, I guess, because I always, to me, I love nature, I love all the beauty in the world, but people to me are the most beautiful in the world, and how we, our faces, our personalities and our, expressions, and so I do end up putting people in a lot of, so that's, and I also, it's kind of an idealistic, I don't want to be kind of sappy, we're all going to get along, because that doesn't help either. We have to realize that there's severe injustices and there is severe judgment and all different things. So a lot of my work, I really do try to show a kind of the beloved community that we could have, and we do have, but we need to work farther at it because there's still a lot of division. So a lot of the work, but a lot of people say the Scenes of the Twin Cities is idealist, but these are all real. They're all real scenes I've seen. They're all real people I know. So they're not really just idealists. It's what's happening. The Part of Warren Park and May Day Parade is the most beautiful thing you're going to see. And so they have community and coming together and trying to make a better world. So that's what that is. So I don't know if that answered it because I didn't go on and on. So what I'm going to do is, like I said about collage, somebody had said it's a completely democratic kind of art. It's free, the materials. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be a so-called artist. You can just start gluing things on a board and see what happens. And a lot of people will say they're not an artist, and then they'll start putting things on and they'll go, wow, this looks good. I did this. So I think that it's a way of, just even if it's just one image and a couple stickers around it, if it makes you feel good or if it's something that you want to create, there's no right or wrong in how you create it. So I tend to do a lot, I brought some inspiration back. So at my shop, a lot of times when I have an art event, I put a table out that's called my inspiration table, and I put out all these images and different things for collage and let people just make their own collage. It doesn't matter your age or your ability in art. And so a lot of times people would say, I wish I had this at home because this is so much fun. And I was thinking, well, I'm an artist and I have so much of this stuff at home. But so I started making these collage packs and I sell them at my store. And they are all different themes. So I will write, on here the theme, and then they're filled with blank greeting cards and things to make bookmarks and things to make vision boards. And they're all from recycled materials mostly. I try not to buy new things at all for them. So they're all like things that people throw away or things I find at yard sales and thrift stores, or like people have a sticker book that their kids use most of it. So then I cut out the good stickers and put them in here so we can save things that are here. But all of them have different themes, and they're fun because you can just use these and then add more things to it, and then create your own and have a whole day of creating. And I had some ladies that are retired, and they get together with their friends every year on New Year's Eve and make art. And then last year, because of COVID, they couldn't get together, so they actually bought like 8 of these, brought them to their friends, and on Zoom, each one made their pack and hung out on Zoom for hours on New Year's Eve and created these. So that's what I find too. I find people get them for 5-year-olds' birthday parties, and they get them for their friend who's just turned 80. So it doesn't, anybody can do. So I brought those as an example. They are for sale if you want them, or I have them at the shop. But I thought I'd just bring them for an idea of how I make these packs. But then the things that I have here for you to use are things that I would use to make my packs too. So it's kind of like more loose, and these are all put together in more of a theme for each pack. So I have glue, I have scissors, I have tape, all these different things, and tons of images. And then I usually just say to start on a board, any kind of board, anything you've got. If it's a Cheerios box, you cut the box, and there you've got a board. So anything can be used for art. And then glue stick, I tend to, a lot of times when they have collage workshops and stuff, they'll just put a bunch of magazines on the table, which is great, but sometimes it takes so long going through the magazines that you spend more time with that. So I tend to cut out a lot of images so that they're already, I mean, you can still cut them because you might want it in a different way, but little more smaller pieces so they're easier, and I've already gone through so that they're more specific. So I can put a stack of, this kind of things on each table, and I also can leave some things here if you want to come up and get more, or if you want to just get a board, or I'll put a few boards on the table. But however you want to do it is great, but just for, yeah, or you want to just they can just grab what board they want. Yeah, I might just put, that would be fine. Let me just, yeah, a little stack of them, and then I can leave some up here too if you want to come and go through this too more. So if it makes it a little easier, I also put some on the tables. I have some of these orange sheets, and I've got more up here. They're things that are going to be going on at the Color Wheel this year. So I have a lot of artists set up for pop-up artists. So I'm doing a lot of them outside, so they're more accessible for people.
Yeah, looks a good canvas to start with.
Yeah, I'll give you a snack. Yeah, they want
just got that one in. That's really usually carry it like
That's one of the kids do. You're gonna make